Good morning, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Muley
And
and
Miss
Miss
Lot.
Lot. Today we're going to be talking about parallel lines, perpendicular lines, and intersecting lines. Parallel lines, line AB and line CD are parallel lines. They never cross even if they are extended.
So I want you all to imagine if you were in a car and you're driving down the road and you see two yellow lines in the middle of the road. Those two yellow lines are examples of parallel lines because they never intersect. If you look anywhere in Lyndhurst or anywhere you go in America, you will see those two yellow lines in the middle of the road, and you will find that they're equidistant from one another and they never intersect, but they are parallel lines.
Next is perpendicular lines. Line IJ and line KL are perpendicular lines. They form right angles where they cross.
Now, what's special about perpendicular lines is they are marked by a right angle when they intersect. So they do meet, and when they meet, it's represented by a right angle. Now, a right angle is a 90-degree angle, and we represent a 90-degree angle by this little box here showing us that it is a 90-degree angle. Whenever the two lines meet and it forms a right angle, we classify those two lines as perpendicular lines. So imagine if you are crossing the street and you are walking up the street and you meet with the crosswalk at a perfect right angle. Where you meet with that crosswalk would form a perpendicular line. And a perpendicular line, we classify it as it if you see a right angle represented on your screen or on your paper or in any real life example.
Okay, our next lines are intersecting lines. Line EF and line GH are intersecting lines. They cross each other at points M.
Now, and a great example of an intersecting line is if you have chopsticks. The two chopsticks meet, and when you use chopsticks, they always meet at all different points. In fact, when I use chopsticks, I'm not always that great, which in fact, Picnic Sushi in Fort Lee, great spot. They know to give me chopsticks because I always like to try using chopsticks, but they do happen to always give me a fork as well. However, I always try the chopsticks, and I can never get them to meet at the same exact point, which is okay. I do struggle at times, but I've gotten much better. But when those two chopsticks meet, they're intersecting. So imagine if I was to say each of those chopsticks was a line. They have to meet in order for me to pick up the sushi. And for me to pick up the sushi, they're intersecting those two chopsticks. But when they intersect, they don't form a right angle. They do meet, but they don't form a right angle. So when two lines meet but do not form a right angle, we classify those two lines as intersecting lines. So for intersecting lines, you can think of attempting to use chopsticks. The chopsticks do meet in order to use them, but they do not form that right angle. However, they intersect, calling those chopsticks or any two lines intersecting lines. Now, for this last slide here, we just have all three lines that we talked about in this video: parallel lines, intersecting lines, and perpendicular lines. I highly recommend you pause this video and write down the definition of each of these lines, or at least draw an example of a parallel line, intersecting lines, and perpendicular lines. You will be using this in today's activities, and today is all about being able to identify these three lines, which I hope this video helped you recognize that, and I hope listening to Miss Muley's definition and my real world example will help you with today's activities. Feel free at any time to rewatch this video, rewatch hearing the real life examples and hearing the definitions at any time. As always, this video is posted on my YouTube channel, so feel free to rewatch at any time. And Miss Muley just has one more thing to add in.
Now I really want some sushi.